Hey guys, Pat Simone here. We're off the job site and we're in my shop, what I call my little Hollywood setup here. Man, is it nice in the shop. Got the air conditioner going. It's been a scorcher outside. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying cool. I decided to do this because, you know, and we're going to continue to do it, but all the live filming, the real life stuff on the job, I feel like I have a harder time to explain things to you guys, you know, because we're moving and grooving, man. We're trying to get the job done, getting a little frustrated. You know, it's a lot harder to film, so I'm doing this also for my DIYers out there, my homeowners, any projects they want to tackle. Today we're going to be talking about common rafter layout. And there's only going to be two things you need: your speed square, which is my favorite thing in my tool bag, and this, the calculator. I know, guys, I know, not everybody owns them. As a matter of fact, this looks so brand new. This is about 5 years old, because I use the one on my phone all the time, which is an app. If you go to your app store, there's a lot of free ones. Okay, DeWalt makes a really nice one. I actually might download it after this. Going through this for you guys, I found it. In the beginning of my career, I've been doing this for like 22 years now. I used to use the Blue Book, which is great and it's very easy. On one of the episodes, I'll teach you about this too. A 60-year-old framer taught me how to use this back in the day. So I never stopped since. I mean, it's never ever wrong unless you input it wrong. Anyway, guys, I made a model for you. We're going to discuss common rafter layout, the components to it, how to come up with the lengths, all of it. So we're going to go over the model, and then I'll take you here what I drew and explain to you how to input all that information into this calculator, and you'll be 100% every time. So let's go over the model, guys. Okay, guys, this is my little Hollywood set model that I built to explain to you guys on how this all comes together. This model is based off a 7/12 pitch, which means it rises 7 inches per 12 horizontal rung. Okay, 7/12. Where the cut meets the ridge, this is our plumb cut. Okay, from here to our bird mouth cut is the length of our rafter, and all that will be explained in the diagram. There's a key component here that you guys have to remember. From your bird mouth cut / seat cut up to the top is called your hat, short for height above plate. Okay? After your bird mouth, this is your overhang. This is whatever you want it to be, whether you're matching an existing structure or whatever your preference is. Okay? In this case, this is a 6-inch overhang. Okay? Now my building width, total span on the model is 4 feet. Okay? I'm telling you all these things, so when we go back to my little diagram there, you'll get the gist of it. Okay? So you have your building span, you have your rafter, and you have your ridge beam. Now guys, normally in a normal, you know, most architects, whatever your rafter size is, your ridge beam is one step bigger. See how my post comes up? I didn't have any stop big enough, so this is 2x6 and this is a 2x6, where if you're using 2x6 rafters, your ridge beam would be a 2x8. Okay. Now, if you take a look over here, you get the camera in on a different angle. Trying to give you a see-through shot. See how my ridge extends past the building? That's because these are eaves. A lot of builders call them rakes. This is another component to your overhang. So when cutting your ridge, that's something you have to think about too. How far past do you want that eave to be past the building? Okay, a lot of guys don't extend their ridge. They just make the two rafters butt each other. I wouldn't recommend doing that. This is much stronger. Okay, so now take this in mind. If your ridge beam was a 2x10 and your eaves are only a 2x6, you would have to notch your ridge beam accordingly to whatever your outside overhang is going to do. Okay. Now, going back to our overhang, and this is a good tool to use for this. When putting your subfascia on, see how I have it flush with the rafter right now? Well, see what's going to happen if I put my plywood on the rafters to come down. I'm going to hit. Okay, so now what you want to do is drop this so it planes in. Okay, now you could use this. When I frame, guys, I use what's called a stick nailer. See how it's straight? There's no coil. I don't like coil nailers. You could use this too to plane it the same way. Okay, which I use this all the time. Two, when doing an addition in the state of New Jersey, by code, it's required to have hurricane straps from your plate to your rafter. Okay, it's exactly what it's intended for. High winds, especially after Sandy happened, they're pushing it. I have a screw in it, guys, just to show you, but this is a 4D Tico nail that you have to nail every single hole. Okay, and I actually like it because it really keeps the rafter locked in. Okay, so on the other side, I have a full demonstration of, I didn't have any plywood. This is a 3/4 material, but your plywood would probably be 5/8 on top of your roof. See how everything is stepped? So you have your subfascia, and then you have your finished fascia. In this case, it's a 3/4 piece of pine. A lot of guys just use this for everything. I wouldn't recommend that, because then when you go to nail your gutter's real weak. So those are the components of the roof, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to come up with these measurements, what everything means, and we're all going to do it with this guy real easy. Okay. All right, guys, so I drew this based on the model I just showed you. Okay. Now I'm trying to get it all in the camera. It's literally right over my back on a tripod. But I'll give you a nice still shot at the end of the video if you want to freeze it and hold it to, learn it. All right, guys. So I told you before that my model is 4 feet in total span. Okay, that is the building width. Okay, so we have 4 feet. Okay, now in order to come up with our rafter lengths, remember our rafter lengths are from our C cut to the top of our plumb cut. Okay, that's how we come up with that. So in order to do that, we have to divide the building in half. So obviously in half we have 2 feet. 2 feet is the building divided in half, okay? Now, this is where the calculator comes in. So, a lot of guys will sit there and you have to figure out where your ridge beam, whether, you know, it's 1.5 inches like my model, or a 3-inch. The other day I installed a 5-inch by 18. So we're gonna stick with the model today, but a lot of guys sit there and divide the ridge beam in half and work backwards, okay? And that gets very confusing. The calculator simplifies it. So right off the bat, I'm gonna deduct my ridge right out of there, okay? Because once we deduct that ridge, once we come up with the formula, the rafters will be exactly 1.5 inches apart from each other. Because we took it out of the equation, and the calculator will do it all for you. So let's get going. So right off the bat, we know that the building is 4 feet wide. So we're gonna take 4 feet, okay, minus our 1.5 inch ridge beam, which is 3 foot 10 inches and 1/2 inch. Okay, now we're gonna divide that into 2, equals 1 foot 11 inches and 1/4. Okay, now the next step is to press run. Okay, now run is this measurement right here. You remember I told you our model is based on a 7/12 pitch? Well, it horizontally it rises 7 inches per 12-inch horizontal feet, okay? So now we're on run. Next, you have to input the rise, and you got to make sure you hit the inch button. 7-inch pitch, okay? Now the calculator has all it needs to know, okay? Next input, you got to hit diagonal, because now we inputted 7 inches, which is our rise, and it knows what to calculate from here to here, because our roof rises 7 inches per foot, okay? So now we know that that is our rafter length. So let's write that down. Rafter length is 2 foot 2 5/16. Okay, that's how close the calculator gets to that measurement. I mean, it is a little crazy. I mean, you have room. Okay, now the next input, you press rise. 1 feet 1 inch and 9/16. Okay, take that number and write it down and put it to the side right now, and make sure you write rise next to it. Okay, we're not ready for that, and that'll come soon. All right, so that's how you get your rafter length, guys. Okay, so your rafter length, I don't know if you could get this in the shot. See your height above plate, HAP? That's this measurement here. And I'm gonna show you how to cut all this, guys. I'm trying to reach my tape. So we know our HAP is 4.5 inches, okay? Now from this line to our plumb cut, that's the distance for your rafter, which is 2 foot 2 and 5/16. I'm sorry. Okay, plus whatever you want your overhang to be. So your overhang will be from here to here. So I'll explain how to cut that all. Okay, so got it, guys? So 7/12, the roof rises 7 inches per 12-inch horizontal run. Okay, so it's essentially going like this. Okay, now we're gonna get to our story pole. Okay, trying to get all this in, and that's where I told you to put that number aside. The rise, 1 feet 1 inch and 9/16. Okay, so right here is your 2x4 post, like that's in my model right here. Okay, what the calculator gave you was the rise to the bottom of this right here. Okay, it doesn't know about the HAP, the height above plate. Has no idea, because you know the model is a 2x6 rafter. We could be using 2x8s, 2x10s, 2x12s, so on and so forth. Okay, so now you're gonna take that rise calculation, 1 feet, let's do it, 1 feet, okay, 1 inch, 9/16. Okay, now you have to add your HAP to that number. Okay, plus 4 inch 1-half equals 1 foot 6 and 1/16, which is exactly to the top of the ridge now. Okay, see what other guys do is they calculate to the underneath side of their rafter, and that's not accurate, and this is why. Because now you have to determine what your ridge beam is. Whatever the height of your ridge beam is, now you minus, okay? Minus 5 inch 1-half, 5.5 inches equals 1 foot 9/16, which is exactly that story pole. So now you guys can set this story pole up, set your ridge on here, and when you line your rafters up, it'll be perfect. Okay, now one recommendation I do have is I would cut your story pole 3/8, maybe 1/4 of an inch low, because you could always stick a shim. Because don't forget, guys, this is just the story pole to hold the ridge, and once you install all your gable wall studs, I mean, that just adds all strength. Not to mention this would self-support itself even if this was here. This is just to make your life easier while you're installing. So let's do the rise for your story pole one more time. So I told you to keep that number, right? 1 feet 1 inch 9/16 plus your height above plate, your HAP, which in my case is 4.5 inches. Okay, plus 4 inch 1-half equals 1 foot 6 and 1/16, minus whatever your ridge beam is, minus 5 inch 1-half equals 1 foot 0 and 9/16. Okay, 1 foot 9/16. So that's really it, guys. I mean, it's a really simple process. And now I'm going to take you over to my rafter behind me, and I'm going to show you how to mark this with the speed square. Okay, and I hope I'm explaining this well, and I hope this helps you out. So let's go over to the rafter next. Okay, guys, so this is a speed square. Okay, this is the best tool I have in my pouch. I use this every single day. I go through these things. I got them on backup. I mean, look at this one. Look at the end of it. Might as well throw that in the garbage. And guys, my favorite is a Swanson Speed Square. Look at the detail on all the numbers. Okay? Compared to They're competitors. I don't even know where I got this. I mean, you know, look, plus it has this that I love to do. But I don't know. There's an initial on here, JE. I don't even know where this came from. I just have it laying around my shop to do 90s and 45s, but don't even compare. All right, guys. Two sides. Your 90 degree and your 45. Okay. This right here is your pivot point. Okay, and you'll know what I'm talking about once I get started. Now, guys, see all these bottom numbers? See how it says common right here? Okay, these are all your pitches. All your pitches. Now the top one, where it says hip and val, that's for hip and valley rafters. We're not going to do anything with that today. That's a different. I'll do something on it, but today it's just way too long to get into. That's where it gets difficult in roof cutting. But I'll do a segment on it. But right now we're learning about common rafters. Okay, so we know that we're working off a 7 pitch on my model there. Okay, so let me try to bring in as close as I can. The only thing I don't have, guys, on the Hollywood set is a cameraman. And what I'm gonna do, guys, normally I make my plumb cut first, and then I cut it, then I pull my measurement. But in this case, I'm trying to keep the video not too lengthy, so I'm gonna put it right on the corner. Okay, so you guys can see this. Let's get in a little closer. Okay. Alright, so look. We're on our common side of the square. What we're going to do is roll that up till we're right on our 7. Okay? Then what we're going to do is make a mark. Then we're going to make a mark. Okay? We just made our 7 pitch plumb cut that I showed you. That's against the ridge beam on my model. Now we know our rafter length, so now you would hook onto your plumb cut. Now we know our rafter length is 2 feet 2 and 15/16. Okay. Now we're going to take our speed square again. Now let me back up. Take my speed square again, put it flat, your pivot point's right here, bring it up to a 7, okay, make your mark. That is the back of our bird's mouth. This is the back of the building, okay. See this little diamond right here? All you're going to do is bring your diamond up till that diamond perfectly intersects the line I just made, okay? Make a mark, okay? And that represents 3.5 inches. And there's your bird mouth. That would come out, okay? So that's your bird's mouth. This is your plumb cut. Now, where I was going back to your overhang. Take your ruler, okay, tape measure, and make your overhang whatever you want it to be. Mine is 6 inches on the model. Make a mark, put it on the pivot point again, bring it up to a 7. And there you go, guys. Alright, guys, thank you for watching. I hope this really helps you. If you guys have any projects you're tackling at home and you need help with it, please comment down below. Shoot me an email. I'll answer any questions you have. I strive on that stuff, guys. I love it. I can talk about construction all day. And I wanted to do more, I decided to do shop stuff like this because in real life time filming, it's really hard to explain things. You're concentrating on what you're doing, you're a little impatient. That's still going to continue, but I wanted to be a little more informative and help you guys out. Please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. There's plenty more to come. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.